actually affects how you think, what decisions you make. And there's also different types of breaths. There's energizing breaths and there's relaxing breaths. So we are going to do an energizing breath. It's called the lion's roar. So what I want you to do, get in a circle with, groups of 2 or 3. Put your hand on that person, right? So it should look like this. And I want you to stick out, breathe in, stick out your tongue, and make it loud. Roar, okay? Everybody, come on, do it. Hold on. Let's do it in cadence. All right, so we're gonna go. When I say 5, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it 3 times. And I just want you to get out what you need to get out. Right? Okay, ready? Thank you, guys. All right. So let me ask you something. That seems like a silly thing, right? But how many of you, when you're getting ready for competition, could use that? Right? Could you use that lion's roar to relax yourself, to prepare yourself, to put yourself in a mind state? To prepare for battle? I think so. So just keep that in mind. Make a note of that. If you got a notebook, make a note of it. All right, so let's talk about why we're here. So we did the lion's breath. And my name is Dr. Michael Amos. If you guys come here, and I hope that you do, I'm very passionate as a teacher, and I teach psychology. And I try to not be that boring. Okay? So let's talk about the AGOGE program. So the AGOGE Mindset program, it's twofold. It's a mindfulness-based program. So mindfulness really focuses on meditation or sports meditation, and it focuses on psychological skills training. 2 of the things that you will need as an athlete to take it to the next level here. Okay? The AGOGE, as you guys know about the Spartans, right? They had an educational program for their youth, and it was meant to help them to prepare for battle. We're helping you prepare for battle with the AGOGE program. Again, we want to take you to the next level. And the goal is to sharpen mental focus. We want to help you quiet the mental chatter in your head, combat anxiety, and decrease stress, and that fear of failure. Everybody has that fear of failure. Let's be honest, right? When you go out and when you're wrestling, how many of you guys think about the outcome instead of the process? What are you thinking? I gotta beat this guy. But ultimately, when you focus just on whether you win or lose, you forget about what you learned. Our program focuses on what you can learn. We do care about winning, but it's not the most important thing. It's more about the process, right? We don't focus on outcomes. Because if you focus on the process, you will achieve the outcomes that you've set for yourself. All right. Now let's talk about what is important here. Incomplete versus complete. What does it mean to be an incomplete athlete? What does that mean? You see the definition here, not having all the necessary or appropriate parts. So something's missing. What does it mean to be an incomplete athlete? You, sir.
To not have that mindset, but you know everything you know, and still have a mindset to fail because of how you were thinking going into the match.
Okay. What do you think?
Just like almost being there, but just missing like one key piece.
How many of you would say, being honest, being straight up honest with me, that you are complete as an athlete? Okay? So that means that everybody needs to be focusing and paying attention to this presentation. Because we want to become complete athletes, correct? All right. So what does it mean to be a complete athlete? Having all the necessary appropriate parts. To be a complete athlete, you have to have the mental skills, the technical skills, and the physical skills. Now, if you think about this, a lot of times I talk to athletes and I see they will overcompensate with technical or physical skills because they're trying to overcome something mental. Do you think that works? Why don't we work on what we need to work on? Why don't we work on those mental skills? Anybody? Why do you not work on it? So, I will get back to that question in a minute. So I want you to tell me physical versus mental training. How much time do you actually put in physically training? How much time would you say? You, sir?
Like 2 hours a day.
2 hours, you're a beast. How much time do you put in mental training? Okay. So if the mind and the body, if there's a connection between the two, right? Why are we working on the mind? Why is it being left out? Because the mind is king, it's not the body that's king. Right? All right, let's keep going. So, most likely, I don't know how to make this thing work. Most likely, your physical is huge, right? And the time spent on mental is small. What I want you guys to do is make a commitment today. Raise your hand. Say, I will focus on my mental.
I will focus on my mental.
Now, I do realize that you have to know what to focus on, so we'll get to that too. All right? So why do athletes engage in mental training? Here's 5 reasons. There's many of them, but this is 5. They don't care enough to do the work necessary to develop themselves mentally. Does anybody feel like that? Feel like, man, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work to do the mental, but it'll take you to the next level. It's not part of your usual program. It's not supported by coaches and parents, and sometimes you think it's weird. Like, it's weird to do like a roar, right? What's the point of that? But if you understand the techniques, you can take the ones that you feel are weird and not weird and put them into your repertoire, and that becomes a weapon against your opponent. Like, breath is really important. If you don't eat where you live, you can live for a certain amount of time, right? Then you're gonna die. What about water? If you drink water, if you don't drink water for a certain amount of time, you live, but you can't. You're gonna die eventually, right? What happens if you don't breathe? If I just shut his nose off right now, what'll happen? He'll pass out, and eventually he needs to breathe. You have to breathe, right? So breath is very important, and that is a part of our program here. We focus on breath work. Super important. All right. So, a lot of you guys, I've talked to a couple of you, and you guys mentioned some things like, stress control, anxiety, attention, self-confidence, that kind of thing. Those are all psychological factors that inhibit your performance more than physical does. And these are things actually that are in your control. So what does that mean if it's in your control? You can change it. You guys are so young where you can actually rewire your mentality to actually overcome anxiety, self-confidence, attention, issues with attention and focus. This can be fixed, but you have to start now. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's something that can actually be fixed. Who deals with anxiety? Wouldn't it be nice to know how to overcome that in a match? Okay. Who deals with stress control? Like, I get stressed, so I typically will move around. You see me doing different things, but I know what techniques will work, right? Moods, shifting up and down. What about that? You go and you have a match and you lose, and then you're done for the next. You got 2 or 3 more matches, but you're done. Like that, you're focused on that, just that one match. And therefore everything's just messed up. Anyone ever experienced that? You gotta work on it, right? So my point is, those are mental weaknesses that you can actually improve to grow and get better. Don't stay in a place you don't have to be in. It's a choice. Okay? So the benefits of psychological skills training include increased self-awareness, emotional management, improved performance under pressure, better coping with stress and anxiety, personal growth, improved resilience, and improved mental toughness. Who doesn't want to have these benefits? And who doesn't need them? If you're going to be a college level athlete, don't you think these skills are important to have? Now, you might not know exactly what all these mean, but you know that they're important, right? Because I wouldn't be talking about them. All right, so this guy here, who's this guy? Who is it? I can't hear you. What? Can somebody tell me tell me about his rap sheet? What's up with him? Why is he so important? Like, why should I care about him? Because, you know, I'm not even a wrestling coach or anything. I don't know anything about wrestling. I don't know about takedowns. Coach just showed me, like, different moves. Anyone can take me down. But you couldn't beat me mentally. So tell me about Jordan Burroughs, sir.
He's a big champ.
Why? Because, well, we just talked about being a complete athlete, right? He's a champ because he's a complete athlete. What does a complete athlete have? Yes, young lady.
He competed in the Olympics
Yes. Why did he go to the Olympics?
because he practiced every day.
So he just his practice, just his practice. Was it just his practice, guys? What else was it? Tell me.
Mentality.
Mentality. Okay. So is Jordan Burroughs a god, and he's the only one that could do that? So anyone in this room can achieve that, right? They can be a complete athlete, right? Right? Okay. All right, so I talked about mental training and the idea of it can be something that's learned. So if you're thinking about, like, a lot of these psychological issues, and I wouldn't even call them issues because they're opportunities for growth because they're so young, okay? Confidence. If you want better confidence, you got to focus on self-talk. Do you guys know what self-talk is? It's like if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, man, I'm ugly. You don't tell yourself you're ugly. You say I'm pretty, right? You know. All right. Mental focus. Mental focus. A lot of things that we focus on here to help with focus and concentration. We focus on sports meditations, and we focus on 1-point focus. We focus on that's interesting. Yes, we focus on 1-point focus. You guys know what that is? All right, so it's very simple. Like a lot of these drills, a lot of these things are very easy to do. So that like you thing there, right? That wall. You're gonna sit. You do this about 6 minutes, right? You sit and you stare at it, and you focus on it, and you focus on your breathing. You just stare at it for 6 minutes. Sounds boring, right? But you're actually strengthening your brain. Okay, so let's talk about motivation. How can we improve it? You improve it by goal setting and not forgetting what your goals are. So that keeps you motivated. You remember why you're doing what you're doing. Because there are times when you come to practice and you're doing things over and over and over, and you're like, man, I'm sick of this. I just don't, you lose that love. But you got to find a reason to get up every day and do what you're doing. Okay? So, really quickly, I'm going to go back to the AGOGE mindset program. And you notice here it says weapons for optimal performance in a complete athlete. So why do we call it, why do we talk about weapons? Are we talking about being violent? No, we're not. We're talking about the mindset. Your mind is a weapon if you understand how to wield it. Okay? It's just like any other. A weapon is any device that is used to overcome an opponent. How can you overcome your opponent mentally?
Knowing you're going to beat them, knowing you try to win.
Yeah, you want to win first in your mind, and then you go out there and you kick their butt, right? Okay. Weapons are used to increase the efficiency of activities. We focus on being efficient beasts. We want to be a beast on the mat, and we want to be efficient with our energy. You want to make efficient, good decisions, right? You ever make a decision off the fly because you're out of fear? You're like, you did a move. Coach asks you why you did it, and you don't even know why you did it because you weren't thinking clearly. All right, so weapons may be constructed to include anything used to gain a tactical, strategic, material, or mental advantage. The point that I'm making is you guys have the ability to be whole athletes if you just put a little time in and practice, right? You saw how big the circle was for physically. Don't let your physical compensate for what you need to work on. That's my whole point. You don't get anything else from that. All right, so the things that we focus on, mindset training. I don't know, mindset training, we focus on that. So we consider that a weapon. So one thing that's important that I want you guys to do, you can even do this now, is begin focusing on nasal breathing. So breathing from your nose. That doesn't mean that you breathe like the whole time. It doesn't make sense when you're resting to breathe through your nose the whole time. There are certain takedowns and things you can't. But it's a more efficient way of breathing. So you alternate between breathing through your nose and through your mouth. Why am I saying that?
It calms your heart rate down, right? It slows your
Yes. But how is that how does that make you more competitive against your competitors? Right. So if you see this guy's gonna gas out, but you breathing through your nose, through their match, at certain points, you're likely to have more energy, more staying power, right?
Yeah.
And that's a natural thing. That's innate. That's a God-given thing. It's just understanding how to control it, understanding how to wield that weapon. Does that make sense? Okay. I don't know where my triangle went, and it's not important, but that's all I have to say. So what I would like you to do, I'd like you guys to spread out. Tell me, so we just talked about a lot of things really quick, really fast. Tell me, what is the lion's breath? What's the purpose of that? What is the purpose? Everybody out loud.
Release stress.
Okay. Okay. When would you use that? Why would you use that? What kind of breath is it? No, what kind of breath is it? The purpose is to energize, right? Show me how to do it. Okay. That's fine. You'll remember what I said. So, good. Now, I want you guys to get on the mat, lay down. Just like this. Okay? On your back. I want you to take your hand, one hand, put it on your chest. One hand, put it on your stomach. And I want you to breathe in through your nose as deeply as possible. Make sure that as you're breathing, your stomach is rising. So that's a belly breath, diaphragmatic breathing. That can prepare your nerves for when you're anxious and things like that. Okay? Your stomach should be going up. Your stomach should be going up. Good. How can this be used to prepare you for a match? Yes? What else? Okay. Okay. So you guys, what I want you to do is I want you to sit with this for a minute. Okay? Now, the reason why this one's important is because this is the foundational. This is a foundational breathing routine, which then we actually will add visualization to. And then you go from there, and that will help you to get into a flow state. Don't fall asleep. Won't quiet itself. Stay with it. Focus on the breath. Stay with it. Focus on your breathing in and out. You want to get relaxed. And if you want to take it up now, stop focusing on your competitor. Focus on even a routine. Something that you can, visualize in great detail. All right, come back. Presentation's over. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, feel free to ask now, or if you do have questions later, I can give you my phone number. We can talk, that kind of thing. Any questions? Okay. So what was the benefit of mindset training? Any benefit? You know, was this a waste of time?
Become a more complete athlete.
Huh?
To become a more complete athlete.
Perfect. Thank you guys. That's it.
Hey, listen up. I know some of you guys might think that this might be cookie cutter or this might be not efficient. We do this at, I like university. That's why some of our guys compete at a high level because we believe in this program. If you look at big Division I programs like Penn State and other teams that also have some mindset training. If you think that wrestling is going to be all just physical, you're wrong. Extremely wrong. All right? Wrestling is a mental sport. All right? And we work on all our muscles, all our physical muscles. We do sprints, we do a whole bunch of things, but we forget about the most important thing, our mindset and our brain and what we put in there every day. And that includes your diet. That includes who you hang around with. Your diet is not just what you eat, it's what you put in your life, who you hang around with, what you do when season's over. All those little things are your diet. For example, if you look at my coaching staff, they're all champions. Not on the mat, but they're champions of life, right? That's why I hang around with them. They elevate me, they make me better. I hang around with people like Dr. Amos. He makes me smarter, he makes me understand the mental aspect of wrestling, right? So you gotta be aware of your diet, what you're putting in your body every day, what type of foods, what type of music you're listening to. All right, we gotta understand that. All right, so now we're gonna transition into wrestling. All right, so we're gonna warm up pretty quick. We're gonna learn some technique, play a game, wrestle live, and then we're done. Cool? Wake up! Cool! All right, 1, 2. All right, start jogging.
Lucha! Lucha! Hey! Look at this guy.